Futurama. We're on season 7 right now. Well, I'm on season 7. This is episode 3 and 4. Attack on the Killer. No, Attack of the Killer app is season 7, episode 3, and season 7, episode. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it myself. So, episode 3 is Attack of the Killer app, and season 7, episode 4 is Proposition Infinity. So, the overall ideal of episode 3 is, was it? Oh man, I can't remember. There was another thing behind it, but the thing that stuck out the most, or the thing I can remember, is this episode had to have been aired right around this whole iPhone craze. Now, believe it or not, we're on like iPhone 12 or 13 right now, or something like that, right? We're up to like 12 or 13. This episode probably came out when 1 was available, and they made a prediction. To be honest with you, Futurama made a prediction about the future of these electronics and how controlling they would become. And oddly enough, there is talks of. I mean, they made fun of it by saying it was going to be some type of implant and things of that nature. And there was some jabs taken at third world countries that not only make the devices but also recycle the devices. So I mean, there's a lot going on, but it was a pretty entertaining episode. So it starts off with Leela, one of the characters. Yeah, it starts off with Leela, one of the characters, talking about her old phone, basically a flip phone. It was like doctored up to be a really old joint. It's like a flip phone with a rotary the rotary pad. Anybody knows that you put your finger in there, click, 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 goes around, it comes back. Click, 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 one of those on there, and it's talking like the 1950s and stuff like that. It's a honey new phone, and they're trying to make a point about recycling and not throwing away perfectly good electronics for the latest and greatest, which now that's become the norm, but not necessarily thrown away. I mean, they're faulty by nature. A lot of these devices that we depend on, even the thing I'm filming on right now, it's held up pretty good. I don't have too many complaints from my particular device. I'm not saying it's superior to any devices that are available. Oh God, you know what? I just realized this is what Futurama does. I'm steering so far away from the content of the episode into my own personal life and just what I think about the topics that are talked about in this particular episode. That's what I think Futurama's always been good at. But anyway, let me try to get back to the episode. So they all wait in line. The line's all the way across town. They get it, and it's they finally get the phone. Everybody gets implanted, and then everybody pretty much becomes. Oh, that's the other thing they were talking about. So everybody becomes immersed in this technology and starts to separate from. They start losing humanity basically, and what becomes a casualty of that is friendship and partnerships, because Bender and Fry, two of the characters, get into a contest to see who can get the most followers. I think they're trying to talk about Twitter, but they've altered the name so they won't get sued, I guess. So they're in this race in order for Fry to catch up, because Bender's doing all this, and they're also making a point about what is appealing towards the masses, like violence and sex, mostly violence and sex, and this overall drama is really appealing towards the masses versus like cold hard facts, if that makes any sense at all. So Bender's winning due to those facts. And then on the flip side, you have Fry, who's actually lost viewers because he's not. The character's known not to be that intelligent, but he tries to put out stuff that's more factual, I guess. And then he winds up stumbling upon something else, which also was involved in popular culture at the time. There was a British singer who became widely, well, a contestant on I think it's America's Got Talent. Anyway, it's a British contestant on a game show or something like that. Her name was Susan Boyle. She's not quite the looker. She has a great personality, but she has a great singing voice. So they make fun of that by saying Leela has a boil on her buttocks, on one of her booty cheeks, which is called Susan Boyle. If it makes any sense. Fry exploits that by taking a video and putting it up, and then they tie him and Bender tie in a race, so he doesn't have to do it. It also touches on that because he risked their friendship / partnership on posting that video just to get the views. Okay, I'm just gonna jump ahead to the next episode. I guess I didn't spend too much time on the episode, but you get the idea. Proposition Infinity. Now, this is literally one of my top 5 episodes that I can remember off the top of my head, of course. Number 1 is Snoo Snoo, which I don't even remember I remember the name of it, Snoo Snoo, but this one is here's another thing. I don't know if they did this in a previous episode, but this episode they decided to go in more detail. I'm not 100% sure. I might have to go back and look. But this is the robosexual episode. Come on. Of course, they're replacing homosexuality with robosexuality, but it's so hilarious, I feel. And there's too many funny things to list in this episode. I mean, I should have written something down, but absent-minded, I guess. That's the right phrase. I don't know. But so this takes a look at of course, sexuality in our culture and how it's okay. I could take a hit at this. So there's a scene where because it's Bender and Amy. So it's a scene where Bender is taken to like basically gay camp or Bible camp or something for homosexuality, and the pastor there is having him like, it's like, yeah, I'm going to have you wrestle with your demons through this, and it's like stuffed dolls of human women, but he's getting more aroused at them doing that than anything because he actually is fighting back those robosexual. I don't know. He's fighting back his feelings. I just think that's it's funny the way they structured that. That's all. It's pretty very, 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 very clever, right? What else happens in this episode? But at the end of the episode, Bender winds up not even really being that interested in Amy because she's like, yeah, now we can have because they wind up fighting to have we wind up fighting for the right to get married, which I guess was relevant when this episode came out. Because now it's like legal. I live in California, so now it's legal in California. It's not even no big deal. But I think they use that to interject one joke, which was pretty funny. They were saying, well, how come a man and a robot and a robot and a woman, human and a robot can't get married, but two men can get married, or a human and a human can get married, or a robot and a robot can get married. He's like, so if you think about it, even a horse and a ghost can get married. Everybody starts, and he's like, but man and robot can't get married, or whatever. Human and robot can't get married. So the crowd starts booing, but of course they just brought up the ghost, and the ghost starts going woo. But I messed it up. I know I butchered it. I apologize. I know I butchered that, but it's better if you watch it. I got a real kick out of it when I watched it on through the episode, of course, not through me telling it. I I don't know what they were getting at with that particular episode, if they were for it or against it, but I can say my personal beliefs on the issue. It does not concern me whatsoever. I'm pretty sure I have family members like that. I'm concerned with other things. So I think that's the major thing here. So with anything in life that doesn't like affect your safety, such as poor management of a structure, or sidewalks, roads, somebody's driving ability, somebody's ownership of a firearm, or something that could cause harm to me. I think that's worth fighting for that person not to have that privilege. But as far as somebody choosing to lay up with somebody, whether they be a different race or the same race and the same sex, I just don't care. I don't have time for it, because I'm focused on myself moving forward. I'm focused on achieving goals that I've made for myself. If that makes any sense at all. But I think that's what a lot of people need. You need to set tasks for yourself and start working on achieving them, and that way trivial things such as somebody's choice of partner won't bother you as much. But that's just scratching the surface of it, of course. I'm not here to just have this conversation. I just need to do a review of the dang show, and I did. So there we go.